Well, hi, friends, and I want to welcome you to the Presbyterian Church of Marion in Marion Center, Pennsylvania, and our YouTube playlist worship service for December 6th, 2020. This is the second day in Advent. I'm Pastor Chris Enoch, and I'm delighted that you have chosen to be with us here on YouTube. I do have a few announcements that I want to share with you. If you're watching this particularly on Sunday, December 6th, this is the last day, well, technically anyway, to order poinsettias to help both decorate our sanctuary and to eventually take home. If you're interested in getting one, they're $10 a piece. Either contact me right away, contact Susie right away. But I want to encourage you again, if you'd like to get one, to let us know here almost immediately. We are working at trying to keep our in-person worship going here in the sanctuary. What you do need to know is many of our neighboring churches have shut down, at least temporarily, because of the COVID situation in Indiana County. Parts of the county are being hit pretty hard right now. With that in mind, and we're thinking ahead a little bit, Christmas Eve, we plan to do 2 services on Christmas Eve. They will be shortened. They're going to be different than in the past. But we plan to do 2 with the goal of not filling up the sanctuary for either one, but trying to keep capacity here at about 50%. Again, more details are going to be coming about this, but what will probably be required will be a reservation. We don't, as I record this, we don't have that figured out yet. Been asking around to a lot of friends about that. No one seems to have these things figured out yet, but we will figure it out. So the plan for now is to have Christmas Eve worship here, but 2 services, one at 6 p.m. and one at 8 p.m. And thinking about some of the upcoming worship services, I'm going to need some help. There's going to be opportunities, especially with the service after Christmas, to read some poetry or perhaps some sort of short story in worship. But here's what I need done. I need that pre-recorded by one of you or some of you out there, so we can have those stories or those poems, whatever I come up with, both here on YouTube and in our in-person worship here at the church. So you just need a way of doing an audio recording, and then we'll figure out a way of getting it over to me. That's not always easy, but we will figure that out. I'm learning a lot of technology as we go along here, folks, along with the rest of you. I want to thank you all for having so much patience with me about that. I have a few ideas floating around in my head about this. So, again, if you're willing to help out, let us know. And then in a few minutes, we are going to be taking the Lord's Supper. In a few minutes, we'll be taking the Lord's Supper. We'll be having communion here on YouTube. If you don't have whatever you're going to use as elements for communion, I could encourage you right now to stop this video, get your elements ready, your bread, whatever you're going to use for bread. If you have grape juice, great, but use whatever you have for the cup, and then you can restart this video. I say these things because this week has been kind of chaotic in many ways. Again, it's kind of typical for the year. I talked about last week how I had hurt my knee. It's doing a lot better, by the way. I'm able to stand and do these services at the moment. But it's been such a chaotic year. It's been kind of crazy. Yet there is incredible comfort to be found in a pause. And I guess this whole year has been a pause, or at least the last 8 months. But if you've used any of this time to read, to pray, to reflect over the course, not this year, but kind of focus that all into this Advent season, because this is still a time in which believers eagerly anticipate the celebration of Christ's birth. The second Sunday of Advent gives us the opportunity to just prepare our hearts in faithful waiting to celebrate the birth of Jesus, and actually to ready ourselves for his second coming. That is something I look forward to. It's a beautiful chance to just reflect on the ways that prophecy has been fulfilled through the ages, and to ponder what the future that has been promised to us through the prophecies will bring. Psalm 46 says this, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted on the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us." The God of Jacob is our fortress. This week we pause to remember who God is and what he has done for us. When our lives are just sort of uprooted the way they've been over the last 8 months, then maybe this gives us just sort of a chance to focus and to reassess what we ultimately have faith in. That we make some space in our lives for prayer, for meditation, to help us better to see God at work in our lives. And he is, in spite of everything we're going through, and in our world. And he is, again, in spite of everything we're going through. As we prepare our hearts for the celebration of Jesus' arrival, this incredible gift to all humanity, let's stir up in our hearts and in our homes a sense of anticipation. May God's Spirit just transform these days leading up to Christmas. May it transform these days into a time of holy anticipation, preparing our hearts as we faithfully await a chance to celebrate the arrival of who our King is. So we are here to worship, and I now want to lead us through a responsive call to worship that you will see on the screen. As we light the second candle of Advent, remember Jesus, the mighty God, the center of our faith. The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will praise him, my Father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a warrior. The Lord is his name. As we light the second candle of Advent, remember Jesus, the mighty God, the center of our faith. To whom will you compare me? Or who is my equal, says the Holy One? Do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. As we light the second candle of Advent, remember Jesus, the mighty God, the center of our faith. He has been given all authority in heaven and on earth. So if you have your Advent wreath with you or in front of you, you can now relight the first candle and then light the second candle. And we are here to worship our God.